Good morning, communities. RJ back with another video. So let's get to it. My random Mike Schmidt item of the day. Picked this up off of Facebook Marketplace the other day. Somebody put this up and I snagged it right away because it was a Mike Schmidt item and a very hard to find Mike Schmidt item. Not, it's a serial numbered item. Shoot, I have many serial numbered items in my collection that are much lower serial number pop than this. But you just don't see this too often up on the Facebook Marketplace or even on the Bay. From 2003, Absolute Playoff Memorabilia. It is a box, and inside the box is a fancy whatchamadoodle of Mike Schmidt. So what do I mean? Start off with this glass etching, 2003 Playoff Absolute Memorabilia, Mike Schmidt and the Phillies. That is a glass plate that sits in this base. This base, see here, tuck this back in here, out of 100 is a bat and jersey relic combined. And then you would take this, let me put this up top here so you have a good background. And you take your glass plate, and you can see the top has a little notch in it. You'd slip the glass plate in that notch. I'm doing this off camera, so bear with me. And then you'd have a really cool display piece. Mike Schmidt on your little desk out of 100. Really cool little thing. I don't know how much these cost when they were originally issued. Obviously there's some collector value, but they're just hard to find. There is a out of 200 version which only has one of the two relic pieces, and then there are two more that are autographed versions. But it's a really cool item. I knew they existed, but I don't often see them, and I've never bothered to go out of my way to pick it up. But someone listed this on Facebook Marketplace the other day, and I literally drove an hour and a half one day to get to acquire this. So happy to have this in my collection. Let's set this aside. Give me 1 second. Today's random baseball item of the day. Shown these off before, but I thought it'd be cool to look at them again. So from 1991 and 1992 and 1993. Topps Micro Baseball. Now, why Micro Baseball? I mean, if you think about it, why would Topps waste their money on doing this? What was the impetus? What triggered this? I firmly believe what triggered this was the Cracker Jack Company. So I guess in 1991, thereabouts, Cracker Jack decided to try and go back to inserting baseball cards into their little food package that they used to do in the past. The 1914 and 15 Cracker Jack releases are legendary to this day. So in 1991, the Cracker Jack Company issued a series of current stars modeled after the 1991 Topps baseball card set and inserted them as 4-panel cards. It was actually a standard size card with 4 postage stamp size replicas of Topps 1991 baseball cards, one in each corner. So it was a standard size card divided into 4 pieces. They weren't perforated or anything. It was just 4 images side by side. And they did that for about 30 some different players. And I had that set lying around somewhere. But then they thought to themselves, well, shoot, why don't we just do this for the whole set? So Topps, some brilliant marketer, thought this would be a fantastic idea. So they came out with these full-size sets called Micro, and it's all 792 cards. They did it 3 years. They are so worthless. Nobody liked them. They're hard to hold, hard to look at, hard to thumb through. Kids even didn't like it. It was cute and all that. So they were able to do it for 3 years. And the novelty quickly wore off because this, again, if you consider 1991 through 1993, this was the beginning of the high-end baseball market. And to kick out a micro set that had no value, how do you compete against the high-end market that was just in its infancy as well? So this was a product released by Topps that had quickly come and gone. Whether you think that's a good idea or not, it just is. So I have all three complete sets, just because RJ collects sets, not because I'm a particularly big fan of any of them. So today's trivia question. This is going to be an easy one for everybody to guess, but I just love it because it's. Well, I won't tell you why I love it. You'll know once you get the answer. Today, there is the designated hitter, so there will never be another instance when a pitcher bats in a World Series. There's never be another instance when a pitcher bats, really. And if they do, technically there'll be a pinch hitter. I mean, I guess probably Shohei Ohtani batted when he pitched, when he was still a pitcher. But my question to you is, who was the last pitcher to hit a home run in World Series competition? He will likely be the last pitcher ever to hit one. So who was the last pitcher to hit a home run in World Series competition? What you're playing for, 4 cards of Joe Jackson from Panini Diamond Kings and Panini products over the years. So this is from 2022 Panini. Joe Jackson. This is actually the artist Proofs parallel. And sadly, Diamond Kings got lazy and used the exact same card image on the 2021 Diamond Kings and on the 2021 Diamond Kings Art of Hitting insert set. So, say what you want about Diamond Kings. They look great. They got great stars, but they're very lazy. And then here's a Panini Absolute Baseball from 2021 featuring another Joe Jackson image. So 4 Joe Jackson cards. If you can get that trivia question right, shoot me an email with the correct answer. I will include my email in the description below along with a repeat of that question. You will have today and tomorrow to answer. We will pick a winner on Sunday, all right? Good luck to everybody on that one. So today, when I want to show off, I actually mentioned this a couple days ago because I saw it on the Bay. I actually showed off the Mike Schmidt version of the card specifically because I saw this on eBay and I was thinking about buying it. And I thought, why not buy it? I'm never going to see it again in set format. And I like my sets. I absolutely love my sets. So to see this particular product in a set format, hooray for me. I had to get it. I paid the money, probably a little bit more than the set is technically worth, but you just don't see it in set format. You only see it where people are selling the individual player cards. So again, when I had a chance to buy the full set, I went in big. So here is the Mike Schmidt one I showed off a couple videos ago. You can go back and look at it. It is what we call a Broder card, an unlicensed card, an unlicensed issuance made for sale by somebody who didn't get permission from Major League Baseball or the Players Association. And I don't know who issued it, but it's called the Indiana Blue Sox Inc. Don't know who they are, what they did, whether it was a baseball team, a minor league team, an independent team, a newspaper, what, I don't know. But from 1987, the Indiana Blue Sox set of cards, Mike was number 7 of 60. I'm going to thumb through real quick all 60 cards. Interestingly, some players, you figure with just 60 cards, they could do 60 different players. You would think it wouldn't be that difficult, but they didn't. They repeated a couple of the players. So as I go through, I'm just going to say the names that fly by. And when you say, hey, didn't you already show such and such a card? Well, the answer is yes, but it wasn't the same image. This guy was in the set more than once, okay? So bear that in mind. So here we go. Card number 1, and so forth. Donnie Baseball. Mike Pagliarulo made it into this set. Awesome Ricky Henderson and Dave Winfield. So starting out the Yankees here, Rick Rhoden, of all people, they threw in this set. Nice young Barry Bonds. There's Schmidt, number 7. Jim Rice, Hall of Famer. Wade Boggs. Kevin McReynolds. Looks a little like D.B. Sweeney to me. Billy Ripken and Cal Ripken. Dwight Gooden. Dave Magadan. There's Daryl. Keith Hernandez. Love me some Keith Hernandez. Wish he would be in the Hall of Fame. Hall of Famer Gary Carter. Nice looking young Lenny Dykstra. Dale Murphy. No reverse image. Eddie Murray still on the Orioles. Dave Parker on the Reds by this time. Someone's got the old school cassette recorder when they're interviewing him. Remember those days? Woo! Barry Larkin. This would have been a rookie card of Barry Larkin from 1987. Eric Davis. Looks a little like Sammy Sosa there, doesn't he? Eric Davis. Kirby. Kent Herbeck. Another Dale Murphy. See, like I said, you would find multiple images of certain players. Tim Wallach. Jody Davis. Andres Galarraga with the Expos. Dawson. Palmeiro. Sandberg with the mustache. How often have you seen an image of Ryne Sandberg where he had a mustache? Bo Jackson, looking like he's ready to storm a defensive line or something. Look at that. Tony Fernandez. Glenn Braggs. B.J. Surhoff. Ozzie Smith. Vince Coleman. Another Don Mattingly. Another Ricky. Another Daryl. Another Donnie, that's 3. Like I said, there are multiple images of some players. Another Bogsy. Danny Tartable, really young. That might be a rookie of Danny Tartable. George Brett. Another Bo Jackson. Eddie Milner. You always wonder how do some people make it in there. It actually looks like he's holding up a metal bat, too. That's interesting. Will Clark. Mike Marshall. Steve Sachs. Phil Bradley before he got traded to my Phillies and was just as sucky as he was with every other team. Mike Scott. Glenn Davis. Glenn Davis before he got traded for Larry Anderson. Jose Canseco. Reggie, one of Reggie's last images. Reggie on the A's. Mark McLemore. Really young looking Wally Joyner. Who is this guy? Mike Witt, Sr., Mariano Duncan, and then Bill Doran. So that is the full set of 1987 Indiana Blue Sox. And again, this is one of those unlicensed sets that were plethora, were predominant in the late 80s, early 90s. There were a whole bunch of these flying around. So for me to be able to get a whole set in one shot without having to buy the individual cards, I was all over that. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if there's any kind of, tell me if you guys have, I would love to hear if you have any unlicensed set like that you like a lot. One of those, again, not released by the major manufacturers and completely unlicensed by anybody. So I'd love to hear what you guys have, all right? Thank you very much for joining me for this video. We do have the trivia recap on Sunday, so if you haven't already, there's still time for you to join in. I do appreciate you all viewing as I try my best for the best in this great card being, all right? Hope to see you on Sunday. Have a great rest of your week, and take care.